Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amelia Orubele, and I am your host tonight at Omega Studios. We have a very exciting evening for you today. In fact, this is a very, very important segment of this event because I think every man should be watching this because we have what's called Brothers Keepers. I'm sure you're wondering, what is Brothers Keepers? I am very honored to be here with men who want to make change and men who want to inspire their fellow brothers to make change within themselves and also to look after themselves. I am very, very honored and excited. So please help me in welcoming at Omega Studios the Brothers Club Inc. of Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Very nice to have you this evening.
My pleasure.
Y'all are looking very nice and distinguished,
Thank
looking
you.
important. Actually, you're looking very intimidating. So I guess later we will find out if this is a prerequisite to joining your club,
Yes.
the intimidation look. So let me just take a moment to introduce our guests this evening. First and foremost, we have Mr. James Uja, who is the president to my left here.
Thank you very much.
We have to his right Mr. Ike Iloka,
Thank
who's the
very much.
Secretary General.
Thank you.
We have to my right Mr. Don Duru, where they call you the provost. They had to explain to me what's a provost. I thought it was a university saying, but it's the chief whip.
Yes.
You're the one that knock on the table to tell everybody to be
And
quiet.
Keep quiet. Yes.
Okay,
That's
very
my job.
good.
Thank you.
And we have next to him Mr. Henry Oranekulu. Did I say that correct?
Yes,
Did I-
Oranekulu.
Oranekulu.
Yes.
Wonderful. You all are very welcomed, and I'm very excited, actually very encouraged that we do have men among us that want to do something positive among themselves and to encourage themselves. My first question is to the president. And of course, gentlemen, feel free to chime in case your president didn't omitted something. Mr. James Uja, when did Brothers Club start?
Yeah, Brothers Club, thank you very much for this wonderful interview. Brothers Club actually started on May 2010.
Okay.
Yes, and as at then, there was no male-only club. And some group of individuals came up together and decided to come up with something that special. And that was how Brothers Club came into being.
Okay.
Yes.
What inspired you all to form a male-only club? What is the motivation behind this male-only club, meaning I can't join?
What happened was prior to 2010, there was this other club that actually, not really a club, it was not one registered.
Okay.
And it was just a gathering of male individuals that were trying to, make an impact on the society. Unfortunately, it was not a structured organization. So, and that actually led to the downfall of this organization. So that was how we came up and decided, based on that experience, to come up with this structured organization. And everything we have was actually, we first of all had to register this organization, which is Brothers Club, and we had to go ahead and come up with a constitution, or a bylaw that was really, that has everything to guide us on the right path in achieving our objectives.
Okay.
I have to come in here.
Yes. Okay.
In the prior organization you talked about, the one that was not structured, they didn't have a constitution. They didn't have a bylaw.
So there was no guiding
There was not a
principles. It
guiding
was
principle,
just
no.
however way you are come and
They
join.
just come together,
Right.
eat and drink, and socialize and go home.
Okay. Very interesting. So that brings me to my next question. What sets you apart? What is so special? Okay, now you have a constitution. You have a structure. Some organizations still have constitutions and structure, but why would I encourage my significant other to join your organization?
That's a good question too.
Yes.
First of all, what really makes Brothers Club unique or different from any other organization we have? It's the fact that this organization, the people who we actually bring in are people who we have tested in their character, we've tested in their integrity. We really, really have to screen before we bring in somebody in there.
Okay.
It's not just anybody come in, first step. Secondly, the benefits that we really, really have some very wonderful benefits that will definitely benefit your other half.
Okay.
And in that way, that also benefits you in that way too.
Okay. Later, I'd like to touch on that more. The benefits is one of my highlighted questions. Later, we definitely want to touch on that because I want you all to expand more on the benefits. What would cause one to join your organization versus the other organization? Maybe we should touch on it now while we're on it.
Yeah.
What are the benefits?
First of all, I want to go back and say that this club, we're trying to bring men of character and integrity, distinguished gentlemen, men that people can look at and say, these people are trustworthy. They can represent the community. They can bring things to the table that will help the community. So we're looking for men that can bring stuff to the club, that can change and mold the community in a direct way, in a way that is better for the community.
Very good. And
Also, if you were present during our inauguration, our keynote speaker made it clear that Brothers Club is like night of Columbus. All these nights in the church. What they do is they come together for the mankind to help people. Because God created us to help others. We are trees that are supposed to bear fruits, where people can pick up those trees, those fruits, and eat it and survive for the next day. So it's either you give it to them or you let those fruit fall down from you and they pick it up. So we thought if we can come together and put something that is good, we'll be able to uplift our community and put it to the next step.
very good.
Thank you very much.
Very good. You mentioned that you have projects.
Yes.
You have different things that you want to do throughout the year. Name some of those plans you have. Some of the plans you have for Brothers Club altogether. And I'm sure you may have some that you'd like to focus on one at a time.
Yeah, what we have, actually we have some long-term projects and we have some
short-term
short-term projects.
Okay.
Now, when we're talking about the long-term projects, we're talking about the issue about the social clubhouse. Because currently right now, with all the organizations we have roughly almost about 100 organizations in here. And none of them, the ones that we have that actually went ahead to get a clubhouse, it's not really a clubhouse there, but it's actually a hall to rent out. But what we're looking up is just something like, you know, if you look up think about the way you think about Rotary Club, Rotary, Lions Club, these are clubs that actually has their own clubhouse where they have like a swimming pool, they have all the sports, you know, they have everything in there. And you can walk in there with your card, with your membership card, and you go in there, you can go ahead and on Saturday, relax there, walk in there with your family, grab a drink, go in, swim, play table tennis with your fellow club members. Okay. This is what we're talking about.
Okay.
That is what we are lacking here. That does not really exist. And we also have some short-term projects. Keep in mind that one thing about Brothers Club is we are thinking about reaching out to two different group of areas. We're talking about the communities where we come from, way back home. And we're talking also about the counties where the members reside in.
Okay.
So the other day we had a meeting with the mayor of Austell. And one of the things that we're trying to achieve here is if there are any social services that we can render or you know, just go over there, any help that we can render to the county itself.
Right.
That is one of our projects. And we will be achieving one of those things by this year. Secondly, way back home, we are also thinking about home. Might be picking up some few areas where the members come from and say, okay, what are the things that we might be? We might just go ahead and just get some of these few things we can send over there and just distribute over there. Also keep in mind, even within here, we stay. For the past previous 2 years or 3 years we have been into existence, we have what we also organize our picnic, which is called Back to School. Now, the essence of Back to School is not only to come over, marry, drink, eat, dance, and do all those nice things. One of the basic things is we actually distribute to all the students. We give them the things, the books that they need, the pens, most of the things that they need, the bags, school bags, things that they can use and go back to school.
Okay.
And that is why it's called Back to School.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
This event, this event is being organized at Anderson Recreational Club.
Okay.
And it's done every last weekend of August.
And where is Anderson Educational Club located?
It's on Macedonia Road.
It's here in Powder Springs.
Powder
In
Springs,
Powder
yeah.
Springs.
Yes.
I see.
Can I touch on
Yes.
the clubhouse that President mentioned?
Yes.
If you look at the men in the society, a lot of us are stressed. We are looking for a place where people can go and relax, take away the stress, take your family over there. If you look at it now, there's no, like he said, there's no clubhouse here where Nigerian men would take their family to and relax together,
Correct.
kind of drink, socialize, and other things. So it's going to serve as a relaxing point, as well as make men to meet and put heads together. You see, when you relax in that kind of clubhouse, you can come out with businesses and other things that will
Exactly.
help the
Networking,
society.
like
Yes.
a networking environment
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to just have a hall where people could go and rent a hall and do parties, but we want to have, like you said, a clubhouse where people can go and socialize,
Right.
take away stress, take your family there, take your wife there and enjoy, as well as have sporting events too there.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you started any processes towards this big
Yes.
plan of yours?
Yes,
How-
we have already, that's basically when you have a long-term project like that,
Right.
you have to start building up the foundation itself.
Correct.
So what we're doing at this point in time is we're already putting all the things, all the bricks that we need to put in place to raise up the foundation. And we are actually projecting in that.
Okay. And what might be your projected
We,
date of
we,
maybe accomplishing this?
well, that I will not be able to reveal right now
Okay,
because we have people who are working on that.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, just from your name alone, it says Brothers Club. And just my opinion would be a way that you would impact your brothers. What kind of plans do you have in place to impact or even to support your brothers? That's what I'm thinking. When I hear brothers, it's like brotherhood. What kind of things might you all, or do you all have anything in place to support your brothers or come together, or in case maybe somebody within your organization is having issues, or you say you want men of integrity, men with certain values. Do you have things in place that you can even help some of these men that may not have that, develop such characteristics?
We have some things in place currently. Like I said before, right? One of the things that we have in place to actually encourage or bring these people in here is, like I said before, it's about the benefits we're talking about. We have a very fantastic benefits that we use in taking care of our members. Secondly, we have what we call, like one of the things we have what we call the Keep Fit. Like this is also an example. We want to make sure everybody is in shape. I mean, you take a look
Yes.
right now. Take a look at the people you see over
That's
here.
right.
They look in shape.
No ebabele.
So that is also one of the things. And we actually extending it not only within the members, but we're extending it within the members' family, and if possible, extending out to the general public.
How are you doing this? I mean, do you have a workout day or a place where
Yes.
you all congregate on Saturdays and
Yeah,
doing an aerobic session or what?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually have a committee that actually who is actually in charge of that. It's called the Keep Fit Committee. Now, what they do, they are the ones that will, and Henry also happens to be one of the members.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Now, this Keep Fit, what it does is they actually go ahead and determine the area, the location, what exercises that we are expected to do, what are the things that we expect to do. Is it going to be biking? Is it going to be whatever it is there? So they actually come up with all these things entirely, come up to the house and present it. And when we all agree on what to do, then they now decide, and they are the ones that will coordinate all these things over there.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and why that also is going on, we also have you know, also keep in mind like what our motto always says: in one brotherhood we stand. It's a very, very big. It means a lot, because it's not only being brothers, but we also want to be brothers in everything to you, and that is why we actually come up with all those things and with so many things, just to make sure that the people who we bring in are people of integrity. And even when they are in, we want to make sure that we put everything within the resources that we have to make sure that we maintain them and retain them. And they are also very happy to be members of the club. And that extends because virtually, I don't think there is anybody who is in Brothers Club whose wife or whose second half is not really, really very much so happy that they are in here.
So would it be safe to say that Brothers Club is more of a support system also for our men in that organization?
That's correct.
So that at least, let's say Mr. John disappeared for about a month or 2 or 3, at least within your organization, somebody will notice Mr. John is gone.
Yes.
Instead of him being missing in a shuffle,
Yes.
and nobody knows, like most other larger organizations. Somebody may not attend meetings or be a part of any of your of the events and programs that you have, and nobody cares. But at least it's safe to say that within this organization, it really isn't the number that counts, but the quality of the organization, correct? So
Yes,
that everybody can be accounted for.
Yes, when we come to think about it, we are a value-added organization. We're not just one of those organizations where you go out, eat and drink,
And wakekeeping.
and do wakekeeping and do
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah,
No.
okay, good.
We have rules and structures that if any of our member is doing something, it is mandatory that every member of Brothers Club must attend
What if they have to
and
work?
support. We don't care if we have to work.
You call off
Yeah.
work and lose
If
your
you
job.
if you have
We
to
gotta be
work,
your brother's keeper.
That-
if you have to work, we
Yeah,
understand that.
yes,
but
yes.
definitely, if there is a fine, there is always a fine attached
Yeah.
to that. So what we
Wow.
are trying to do is it's you know, I know it might definitely sound so inconvenient, but it's in a way trying to make sure that as much as you can, because think about it very well. If you are the one who is actually organizing a party, right?
Like a
You want
wedding.
everybody to be there,
Correct,
and you feel bad when 1 or 2 doesn't come over there.
right.
So we want to make sure, that as much as we can, we're able to drag as many people into that organization. Into that education.
At least for them to be active,
yeah,
correct.
and to add to that, Brothers Club is not only about what we do for ourselves, but what can we offer the community. We see when we're talking about health in the clubhouse, we're talking about keep fit. Well, we formed another community that is business oriented, where if you have a business, we patronize you first. You see,
Excellent.
in that way, we can patronize our brothers here first, and then before we go outside. And again, this is just to help our community. Like we all been saying here, it's not only about eating and drinking, but we have other programs and we are projecting to do stuff. For instance, if we have a clubhouse, then we have that health committee
Right.
where we can bring in older people. We can bring in doctors and other things to help our older people that don't have insurance. See, there's a lot of things we can do and we are projecting to do. But we're just kicking off. And I believe you, I'll tell you, the community will hear about us because we'll be organizing symposium, lectures to help our community. Because we don't want to just be like we keep saying, eating and drinking, wakekeeping, and what can we do for ourselves while we're
Right.
still here, not when we're dead?
Right.
See, that's the most important thing.
No, I commend you for that. Actually, I commend this organization for 2 things that you've said that's very important. Number 1, the keep fit. If you see among our Nigerians, and you see that they are very, very unfit, mainly because a lot of them are not being pushed or encouraged to keep fit. And it's very disheartening because in Nigeria, as the World Health Organization has said, that our lifespan in Nigeria is 47 years old. And that's because we're not fit. So gentlemen, continue, and kudos to you. Continue on what you're doing. I also commend you on trying to patronize yourselves. I know some of you have businesses, and maybe among your members there are businesses. It's unfortunate that we cannot be like the Mexicans or the Asians that patronize themselves and help each other grow, even put money in the pool. And so you got my full support on that.
Thank you.
Let me, I just noticed something by the last names. It seems that all of you all are Igbo men.
Is that what you got there?
I have Igbo men, Oja, Iloka, Duru, and Oranukulu. Yes. That's all Igbo. So this is an organization.
If you add Orubele here, would
that's
that be
Igbo
too?
Of course it is. I'm an Igbo, straight from Owerri town.
See?
Yes. So what I'm this question then is this an organization that comprises of just mainly Igbos?
Well, currently right now, what we have in place right now, it's an organization that the members we have in here are basically from the southeast of Nigeria. That need to say that we in future, right, we might definitely have to expand that to accommodate other areas within Nigeria. But currently, right this moment, we are admitting people within the southeast. Okay. Yeah.
How many are in your membership now?
Currently, we have a 25 and
distinguished.
Yeah, distinguished. As I'm speaking with you right now, we have 25 distinguished gentlemen with integrity, and currently also we have about 4 people who are pending trying to join us at this time entirely.
Okay, so once let's say that they show interest and you go through the committee, the screening and all that, when and how long does it take before one knows whether you're in or you're out? And how do you give them a soft landing if you feel that they're not fit for your organization?
Okay, because
Can I take that?
Yes, Mr. Don will.
Yeah, Mr. Whip.
I'm also a member of the screening committee.
Okay.
And, the process is when you come in and pick up application from the secretary, you pay the application fee, you go and fill the application out and bring it back. But prior to that, you have to attend our meeting as a visitor to WISE and come and observe what we do.
Okay.
You come the first visit, second visit, then you make a decision whether is this something you really want. So if it's something you want, you pick up the application like I said before, fill it out, turn it in, then the secretary will pass it over to the screening committee. Then we will call you now and schedule you for interview. And we'll have a questionnaire of about 15 questions. We ask you. It can be anything, but nothing personal. It's just general question to understand exactly where you're coming from. If after the interview, we thought you met our requirement, then we will approve the application and pass it over to executive for a vote.
Okay.
Now, the executive now will vote on that application. Even though we have approved it, the executive will vote for it, up or down vote. If you make that process and pass it, that's when it becomes obvious that you're going to be a member of Brothers Club. The secretary will now contact you through a letter and invite you for a meeting so that you can come up and be registered and become a member of Brothers Club.
And
then, even after you pass all those rigorous screening,
okay,
the general members of the House still have a say. Even when you pass the screening committee and the executive votes, the general members will still approve that this man is worthy of becoming a Brothers Club member.
Yes.
If the general house says, "Oh no, we know him, we did this, he did that, he did that,"
okay,
that's a no.
Wow, that's like a fraternity. It's called a what you call it, hazing of a different form.
No,
like
really.
You just want to be sure that you have a clean.
No. Yes. You see, what we're looking for is men of integrity.
Yes,
absolutely.
You see, in our meetings, we deliberate, we make discussions, and we don't want people to be rowdy. If you look at the last inauguration we have, we showed that men can come together, sit down, and listen. We want you to be a good listener.
Correct.
They do a good contribution. We don't want people that are loud and don't make points. You see, you have to be able to bring something.
So you want men of finesse also?
Yes.
With character.
With character.
And self-respect.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's a
Yes,
package.
it's a
It's a
package.
whole package.
So if you want to join the club, you got to first go look at yourself. See, do
Yeah.
you fit into all this? Can you
Right.
listen to other people? Can you bring points to the table? You see, if you come to our meeting, you will be able to see.
Okay.
You see guys that will listen to you when you're talking. It's not going to be rowdy because everybody wants to make a point, and in that way, we bring in something that is important to the club. And when we make a point and bring something important to the club, we're helping the society because we intend to help the society.
Exactly.
That comes to the question, what does the club have to offer the society?
Absolutely. That was my next question.
Okay, yes.
Apart from, hold that thought, please, because I want to get to that.
Yes.
How long this whole process, let's say somebody comes and goes through all this process, how long does it normally take before they're
I
approved?
think within 3 months.
3 months? Okay.
Yeah, 3 months, 90
Okay.
days.
And then they'll get a nice little pin like yours. I see it says
no,
Brothers Club Inc.
No.
Oh.
They're not gonna be able to get this.
Let me explain that very well. then.
Okay.
You see,
No.
we see basically we have two sets of members in the
Okay.
club.
Okay.
Anybody you see with this pin over here means that they are actually inducted. They are inducted members.
Oh, I see.
So when you become a Brothers Club member, doesn't really mean that you are inducted yet. So we have specific time when we have a certain numbers of people available, right? Then you might now have to follow up with them and get inducted. When you get inducted, that is when there are two basic things that you will definitely get. You have this, the pin, and you have the plaque.
The membership. Like.
The
The
membership,
membership plaque.
Yeah. But
Okay.
apart from
You
that,
have a certificate.
And you have a
And,
nice,
yes,
oh,
you see,
a
this
very
is
nice
this is one of
Okay.
So and one of the things again you should also keep in mind it's because if actually by the time they come in as a member of Brothers Club, there are times. I mean, you can actually, if you now go through, because like what he was saying, 3 months. By the time you become a member, you get over, the whole house clears you. You will still have to place you on a 6 months probation.
Okay.
The essence of the probation is, supposing right now, there is always bound to be an error. Human beings are prone to error. Might be along the line you are able to, it might be we didn't hear much about, you're able to scale through and go through the whole process. And you are now become a member. But you are ordinary member without benefits yet. The benefit kicks in after 6 months.
Okay.
So within that period of time, we want to really see, how do you really behave that period of time? Because two vital things is with your finance, your attendance,
Correct.
and within that period of time, we want to monitor your character.
Exactly.
You see that? So you see, we kept bending up and always keeping on. I mean, all throughout this interview, it's always been integrity, character, you know. These are very, very vital keys
It really is.
when it comes to Brothers Club.
Also, within those 6 months of probation, we are trying to make sure that you are not using the Brothers Club as a means to get to an end. Because some people, society is very dubious.
Correct.
Some people might have something happen to them, or because they know that we have very good benefits for our members, they want to take advantage of it and then come and join the Brothers Club. Boom, next month you tell, oh, I'm sorry, I lost my daddy, I lost my father, this. We have a benefit. We want to make sure that within those 6 months,
You deserve it.
you deserve it.
That's right.
If before the 6 months, God forbid, your father dies or your mother dies, you're not entitled to the benefit.
Because
And what
you're
are some of
probation.
these
Because
benefits?
you are on probation.
Good.
You got to complete the 6 months benefit before you are entitled to our
To receive.
benefit. 6 months
Okay,
probation before you get our benefits. So you don't come join us because you want to do something and you want to get our benefit.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then I think Mr. I'm going to call you, but see this last name,
Henry.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to call you. That Oranekulu, are you sure it's Igbo?
Oh, yes. If you don't know, Oranekulu.
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 Okay.
Yes, that's the main
Yes.
Public space for
I
me.
think you
Yes.
wanted to speak on the benefits of being, just like Mr. Ike was talking about, some of the benefits of being a member.
Yes,
What are these benefits after you've gone through your whole 6-month probationary period?
Before I say something about benefits, I
Yes.
know the secretary will be able to tell you that in full detail.
Okay.
But the Brothers Club, we're here to service the community. You see, we want to be a service a servant to the community.
Okay.
If you remember when Igbo Union was doing their picnic, we were all there helping out.
Did you come?
If you were in Igbo,
No,
Igbo picnic, you will see we picked something up and we were there helping out. We want to provide a service to the community. We want to be their servant. We don't want to be their leader, kind of. But you know, when you be a leader, you always be a servant to be a leader.
Right.
Then we have to help and promote our community too, our kids in school and other things. So we're trying to make a point that we are not only come and chop party,
Yes.
but
Yes.
a come and chop club, but a club that can add value to the community by helping our kids in school and other things. We have, like you said, we have a lot of incentives for members.
Okay.
I know that when your father or your mother died, we have some monetary aspect we provide to you.
Very
Apart from being there in person,
amount of money.
Right. Right.
we have to be there in person to help you out.
Okay.
Then we provide monetary values too.
Okay. And what else, Miss? What else?
Yes,
That's-
So,
Secretary.
also,
Yes.
in terms of benefit, if any of our members is organizing a wedding, we are all
Groomsmen.
groomsmen. We have some bachelors among us.
Very good.
So if you get married and you're having a wedding, you have a very tangible amount of money coming to you.
Yes.
That's one of our
That's
key
wonderful.
benefits. And every member must be present. You don't just drop the money and go.
Right.
Because money cannot fill the hole. We want to show that we are brothers. We support our brother. So we have a good amount of money, and then we're going to all must be present in the wedding. Also, if any of us lost, God forbid, lost our mother, if our significant other, our wives, they also get the same benefit we get. So
Okay.
so that's
the
a point.
spousal benefits
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
It's not just
Excellent.
for us, the brothers, but our wives. If anything happens, God forbid, you get the same benefit, a good amount of money. We don't want to mention
No,
figures here.
no, that's and I don't intend. I don't expect you to.
And it goes far beyond that because we have several aspects. You're talking about your 25th wedding anniversary.
That's
Right.
right.
You're talking about the wedding. You're talking about like the child dedication. There are
Dedication.
so
Yes.
many, basically anything, any occasion, right, that you are
Graduation.
doing,
Yes. You are
that you
there.
are doing,
So
then
to
we
support.
are there to support you.
President, don't forget to mention that we emphasize on 25th anniversary wedding. We allocated a lot of money for that
Anniversary
because
and wedding.
we want
It's
to
a
promote.
milestone.
We want to promote. Yes, a milestone. We want to make sure our men stay married
Yes.
That's
and
right.
responsible.
That's trying to
Yes.
encourage.
So you see, that's what we're trying to encourage.
Stay
Very
together.
good.
Yes.
Very good.
And don't forget that our women are 100% in support of this. It's
That
not
was my
because
next
it's a,
question.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Yes,
like
no, I'm
jumping the
good.
gun.
No, that's good.
can
I'm
flow
glad
with
you.
that.
I'm glad you.
Yeah, we
Please
can
Yes.
flow with it because
Yes,
I
because
wanted
we
to
have
know
some
what you.
we have some members that join this club because their wives saw the benefit in it. They
Yes.
look at the
Of
men
course,
and
yeah.
integrity and say, "I want you to be a member of that club," because they looked at the gentlemen that are in the club and said, "I want you to be part of that gentleman club."
So why don't you call it the Gentlemen's Club? Because really, just from hearing all of this, it
Yes.
seems like you're trying to make our men into fine, distinguished gentlemen.
That is our.
But it's all the
that's our
same.
thing.
It's all still very good. Brothers Club. Yes.
Actually, we went through several times. In fact, we came up with, this was one of the names that we came up with. There were about 6 names. And at the end of the whole thing, we narrowed it all down to 2 names. And after the vote, we came up with Brothers Club. I think basically all members felt that this was the right name for us.
Yeah, because
no, it's an excellent name.
when men become responsible, our society will benefit.
Oh, yes.
Correct.
Our women will love it
Oh,
for us
yes.
to be gentlemen.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And they will love it to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do in the society.
So within the organization, then, do you have programs and provisions to continue to groom our men, to give them more information on how to be and what to be, crisis management and what have you, versus just supporting them when they're doing weddings, this, that, but just ongoing capacity building events and programs
Yep.
to encourage, continue to encourage them. I also may add, I really commend you all for the benefits that you've just named, but you might also want to look into the scholarship for the children within the organization. Maybe have a pool, because most times colleges, I find, when the children go into universities, the families are also suffering. So we may as well do what within your capacity, but education is key. and then how to also start grooming your young men, your young sons, to mentor them to follow your footsteps in this organization, because you may not be there forever, but they may be the ones to take over. You have any provisions in place for all
I
of
think,
this?
let me just one second.
Yes.
Just going back to, I don't know if basically we mentioned something about the blueprint, the committee. Now, one of the things that we have in this committee, right, that was set up, right, was to basically look up on all those programs that we definitely know will be of beneficial.
Okay.
Now, they are coming up with something like this. You see, but the first thing is this, they have to go ahead and go in there, look at how this will benefit us, come up with everything, carry up a feasibility study, and make sure they come up with a complete report on that.
Okay.
Then by the time they present it, then we can now go ahead and implement it. So basically, this is one of the things, about the scholarships, one of the things that we have in pipeline. Even though, because we cannot mention the things we have in pipeline here
Right.
when we've not yet implemented it.
All right.
Exactly.
Correct. Correct.
Also, to come in there, you asked if we have other things lined up to help to groom our men to become good members of the society. We've said before that we are not just about wakekeeping and parties. We also have in line to organize seminars and workshops and informational events that
Absolutely.
Will help to groom our men. Not only our men, our families. Bring them together, put up events and informational events that will help them to learn one thing or the other.
Okay.
So we're not just about wakekeeping, parties, and all those, and the benefits. We also plan to help the society with seminars, workshops, and informational events.
Excellent. So when and how are you getting your organization across to the community in case you have those that want to join?
We actually have our website in there, www.brothersclubinc.org.
Okay.
We actually go through, most of us, like I for one, belongs to several e-groups. I mean, I'm talking about like about 15 e-groups. So basically what we do here is to push up any of these informations across to this e-group
Okay.
and reaches several thousands of people in there. And also we go, our occasions, anytime a member is actually having something, we actually use that media to promote the club itself.
Okay.
Plus the fact that we're a member of Igbo Union, and we intend to join other unions so that we can promote ourselves. And we just did our inauguration, which is just showcasing ourselves to the society.
Yeah.
Like my brother just said, we're going to organize symposium, people going to hear about it,
Okay.
and other things. We're just coming out.
Good.
So by the time we are fully out there, people will know who we are, and will know what we stand for.
Very good. How often do you meet? And when
Once-
and where?
We actually meet once in a month.
Okay.
And it's always every third Friday of the month, and that's from 10 p.m. up.
Okay.
Yes, and we actually meet somewhere in Mapleton Parkway,
Veteran
Veteran
Memorial.
Memorial.
And it would be nice for each of your members to bring a friend that you really do trust and think that would be a good candidate, and, you know, because the more the merrier, but at the same time,
That's what we
you
do.
have to also be careful with quantity. You want quality. So
Yes, exactly. That's how
That's what
any
we do.
person who wants to become a member must be introduced
good.
by a member.
I already remember, yes.
Good. Because you
Yeah,
already know what
yes.
qualities you're
you
looking
must
for.
have a sponsoring member who is a Brothers Club
Okay.
to sponsor you. In our form, that sponsoring member will have to sign that he has known you for a certain number of years, and he is recommending you as a man of worthy character and honor and integrity
Very
to
good.
become a member of Brothers Club. So
Very
you don't
good.
just walk into our meeting that you want to observe us and be a member. No.
Good.
Member must have to introduce you.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, that let's understand again, and I'll yield to the president for this. Your objectives, missions, and visions again about the Brothers Club. The objectives, just as you know, as a cap, as in summary, the objectives, missions, and visions of the Brothers Club.
If I was to summarize this entirely, like in terms of the objectives, right? What we're trying to, it's all about what we're trying to accomplish. right? What we have on the pipeline right now there is we are trying to, at the end of the whole thing, first of all, get a clubhouse first then.
Okay.
Get the clubhouse. That is one of the things there. Then secondly, reaching out to the counties we're talking about. The counties where we're starting up with Austell this year, Austell County. We'll go over there and try to carry out some of the community services in there to help out. And also, while we still have that, we're also thinking about how we can help way back home. Might be buying some books and shipping back way back home to help out there. So those are we're trying to reach out on that. And also, one of the things also there, like we are trying to also make sure the members' health is number one.
Yes.
Health. We want to make sure you go over to some clubs, you see all those men with pot bellies walking back and front, back and front. I mean, if you tell anyone over here to stand up right now, they all have a very, I don't think there's any pot belly over here right now. So, I mean, but everybody, we want to make sure everybody is fit. And that's why we want to make sure everybody, make sure they are healthy. It's very important.
Right.
Organize seminars for health issues there.
Absolutely.
Advice on the food that should be good for your health. It's very, very important, And like, it's just all it is. Our mission, I know, like I said before, that in one brotherhood we stand.
Very good.
We want to make sure we foster that brotherhood in the club. Anytime Ike is not here, or any other member is not here, you see, I take that person as the way I would treat my own brother. It's just basically like a brother from a different mother. And that is just what we want, a binding spirit that will make you respect one another, help one another, be there for one another. But for us to achieve that, it's always boiling down. We need to make sure we have people of integrity, which our membership committee is taking care of.
Because like-mindedness is what pushes anything forward.
Yes.
Yes. I commend you, gentlemen.
But let me
Yes.
add one more thing before we
Yes,
close.
yes.
That's what's Brothers Club trying to do? We're trying to change the community we are in. Both the community we are in right here and the one back home. We're trying to check their perception and understanding. Not only that we have to help ourselves in waykeeping and other things, but helping people in need when there's no waykeeping. What can we do to help the society we are in? To promote peace and understanding between men that will help their family
Correct.
in general.
Correct.
Yes.
Good.
Also, before we close, I will want to put it in record that even though we talked about it briefly, our wives are strongly behind us.
That is amazing. I don't see what wife that wouldn't,
They are
especially
strong.
when you all are turning into fine gentlemen.
To the extent that last year, do you believe that they organized an appreciation party?
Wow.
Oh, yes.
That is
I must not fail to mention that
wonderful.
we thank our wives
Yes.
for really being behind us and thinking it wise to organize an appreciation party for us, and invited our friends. We came and merry and had fun. So we will want to ask our wives to continue to support us, because we will continue to be men of honor.
Because obviously you all are doing something correct and right in the homes for your wives to continue supporting you.
Also, to prove that Brothers Club is really the Brothers Keeper, on our inauguration day, we had our seats set up, 25 seats, but we have one empty seat, which means somebody did not show up,
Yes.
and we didn't get any information. Why? We became worried. We went ahead and did what we were doing. The next morning, President, as early as what, 5 a.m.?
Yeah, 5 a.m.
President was able to reach the family. It happens to be that this member had an emergency. That Saturday we were doing the inauguration. I ended up in the hospital.
Wow.
So,
My brother's keeper.
yes. So, in the evening, that Sunday, we went over to his house because they treated him. He came back. We went over to his house and spent about a couple of hours with him and talked with him. Then the next meeting, we were able to inaugurate him. So what I'm trying to say here is that we look out for each other
Yes.
in a strong term. Thank you very much.
We are definitely in full support of such an organization.
Thank you.
And I'm sure once this goes live, the Nigerian community sees all the wonderful things that you're doing, that Nigerians are not just all about fun and games and parties and what have you. You really do want to make a difference. And being your brother's keeper, being in brotherhood you stand, and again, it has nothing to do with the numbers. There has to be some accountability of our people, and there has to be an organization that stands on the outside and sees what our community is lacking. And if our community is lacking men of integrity, and you can rear and encourage some of our men, you being examples to be men of integrity, distinguished men, that is wonderful. I hope that the whole Nigerian community, especially the wives, encourage their husbands to join such a great organization, because we do need this. We do need the Brothers Club. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we are very happy for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amelia, that was a good job. Give me a hug. That was a good job.
We still on
I'm
camera.
so proud of you. I'm so
Oh,
proud of you.
Thank you.
That's what
Thank you.
I couldn't hold out the
Thank
rating.
you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Cheers.